Hi, this is Hel, and welcome to my channel. Today I will present you the Shred build, the fastest druid build. Let's get down with it. We will start with the gear, so for helmet we will go with Air of Perdition, tempering ranks to core skills. So for the rest of my gear, I used Banished Lord Talisman as chest armor to make our attacks overpower whenever we consume 275 spirit. For the gloves, I used Fists of Fate with tempering to attack speed, cause we need to reach the 100% cap bonus. Critical chance we don't need because we use the new season power Purge of the Infected, which gives us poison attack and guaranteed critical strike. Moving on for the pants, I picked Erida's Inexorable Will to gather the mobs, and the boots used are the Chaos Maleficent Crescent that gives us a lot of critical damage by using the Lupine Ferocity Key passive skill. The rest of the items are with legendary aspects, and on all we need to temper werewolf attack speed to reach the maximum cap of 200% attack speed, accumulated from bonus attack speed and the werewolf attack speed. So starting with the weapon, we need a dagger that should have willpower, maximum life, and critical chance or overpower, and we temper on it. Chance that Shred will deal double damage. The totem used should have willpower, maximum life, and cooldown tempering. Also the chance for Shred to deal double damage. Masterworking the weapons needs to give us maximum chance for our skill to do double damage. Moving on to the jewelry, we need an amulet with willpower, quick shift, and envenom, masterworking the envenom ranks. We temper petrify cooldown reduction on rings and amulet to have it as low as possible. The rings should have willpower, attack speed, and critical strike chance or overpower. I forgot to tell you about the aspects that we are using. On dagger, I used retaliation aspect. On totem, I use Stormclaw aspect that makes our critical hits as lightning damage, which is the core of this build. On amulet, we need to put the Blurred Beast aspect, and on rings, we need to put Unsatiated aspect to generate spirit for our Shred skill. And the other ring we use Changeling aspect for a massive damage when we stun the mobs with our Petrify. Also, I need to mention the runes that we are using and are an important part of our build. Mani and Yam, which casts the Petrify after using 10 mobility Shred skills to gather mobs. Other two runes that we are using are Tam and Zan, which gives us an overpower hit after hitting mobs 12 times with our non-channeling core skill. Chaos perks. Next, I will talk about the boss power and what I would prefer. I went for pit pushing, so I needed more defense, so I am using wild transformations, because I shapeshift a lot from human to werebear and werewolf. And I need to benefit from all the bonuses: attack speed, damage reduction, and critical strike damage. The unique chaos perk that we use is Brawn over Brains, that gives us 200% maximum life, 100% healing, and 125% overpower damage with the cost of having all resistances to a maximum of 50%, and the armor damage reduction capped at 60%. Another new perk that we use is Overabundance, that is giving us 100% increased damage for every 100 spirit that we generate above the maximum, and stacking 3 times, so we can have a maximum of 300% damage increase. The last and the most important chaos perk is Purge of the Infected, that gives us poison attacks as 200% of base damage and guaranteed critical strike damage that is increased by 60% at the cost of 5 spirit per hit. Skill tree. Okay, so we move to the backbone of this build, the skill tree. First of all, the active skills are as following: Cyclone Armor, Debilitating Roar, Blood Howl, Petrify, Earthen Bulwark, and of course, Shred. Next, let's see in detail the skill tree. 2 points in Maul, 1 in Heart of the Wild to take wild impulses with a maximum of 3 points. 5 points into Shred with Primal Shred to have more critical strike damage. 1 in Predatory Instinct with 3 points into Iron Fur, defense that lasts 3 seconds when shape-shifting. Moving on to the defensive skills branch, and we take them all Earthen Bulwark to make us unstoppable. Cyclone with preserving cyclone armor to receive another 10% damage reduction and to pull mobs. Debilitating Roar to fortify and to have 25% increased damage. Blood Howl with innate Blood Howl to have another 25% damage increase until we shapeshift. The passives from the defensive branch have 3 points in each of them. Vigilance for 15% damage reduction after using a defensive skill. Ancestral Fortitude to have 15% non-physical reduction and Backlash to have 15% damage increase after casting a defensive skill. From companion skills, we pick only Feral Aptitude and we put 3 points into it. We benefit from damage increase while healthy and also when we have moving speed over 100%. For Wrath skills, we put 1 point into Charged Atmosphere, 3 points into Electric Shock to increase the lightning damage that we spread with Shred. Another 3 points we put into Bad Omen to immobilize the target and increase the damage from Shred that has its critical hits transformed into lightning damage due to the Stormclaw aspect. Then we need to put 1 point in Neurotoxin and 3 points into Envenom for increased critical strike damage. Stepping to the ultimate skills, we pick Petrify and put max points in it to have a lower cooldown, and also at rank 5, it resets the other skills from our action bar. Then we put 3 points into Catastrophe, Quick Shift, and Defensive Posture, and 2 points into Heightened Senses. For our key passive, we pick Lupin Ferocity, which has greatly increased critical strike damage from our Maleficent Crescent Boots. Spirit Boons. Glad that we have finished with the skill tree points, we move on to our Spirit Boons, and we pick them like this. Gift of the Stag to have more spirit capacity. For the Eagle, we pick Iron Feather, which gives us 30% more life, and Avian Wrath to increase our critical strike damage by 40%. For Wolf, we pick Energize that has 15% chance to fully restore our spirit based on our lucky hit chance. For Snake, we pick Masochistic to have better lifesteal. Mercenaries. Moving on to the Mercenaries, so we pick Rahair and we use Rahair's Guard for 15% more armor and Mocking Lore that helps us moving the monsters away from attacking our beautiful druid, and also for a 15% damage increase to these taunted monsters. For reinforcement, I use Subo with Trip Mines that knocks down enemies. Paragon. Yes. Finally, the Paragon Boards. Laugh. For starting board, I have used Werewolf Glyph because I felt that the 15% damage reduction that it gives, it's much needed. Moving to the next boar, we need to use Lust for Carnage, and the glyph that is set up here is Dominate, because we also overpower from Zanrune and also from Banished Lord Talisman. On the right, we have continued with the classic setup for druids, Heightened Malice and Spirit Glyph, which gives us more damage to poisoned enemies, and we increase our critical strike damage. Moving on to the left, I used Inner Beast Boar with Headhunter Glyph to have that missing intelligence and dexterity to activate the bonus from our rare nodes, Guidance and Harmony from our next board, Ancestral Guidance. For this also, I use Dexterity Incense, and the elixir that I use is Fortitude. And now at Paragon level, 251, I stay around 39,000 maximum life.
What's your level today? Write me in comments, how do you like the new Diablo 4 Season 10?